Whatever happened to Wes, the Red Time Force Ranger?
Well, let's find out.
Wes Collins was born to a rich father and attended prestigious schools and universities and generally led a pretty spoiled life. While at school, he met Eric, who resented him for his excessive privilege, and despite Wes's best attempts, the two never became friends. Flash forward a couple years, and one day the mutant villain Ransik travels back from the year 3000 to the current day, and is followed by the Time Force Rangers. One problem though, before going back in time, he unalived their Red Ranger, and they need the Red Ranger to morph. But luckily, as the Rangers were being attacked by some Cyclobots, Wes jumps in to help, and they realize that Wes is the great ancestor of their Red Ranger, Alex. Oh, and by the way, Alex is Jen, the Pink Ranger's fiance. After some back and forth, they eventually make Wes the new Red Ranger, since, his DNA is close enough to Alex's to allow him to take on the powers. And despite the fact that this makes basically no scientific sense, we now have a full team. During his time with the team, the Rangers would defeat dozens of mutants from the future, and Wes would grow as a person and become more mature, while also developing feelings for Jen. And on top of this, in response to all the recent monster attacks, Wes's dad created his own security team, the Silver Guardians, who are actually led by Eric. But it turns out that's not the only promotion Eric would get. He would also find a prototype morpher sent way too far back in time that would let him become the new Quantum Ranger. Now, initially, Eric and Wes get along like oil and water, but they eventually realize that they both chose to be where they are in life, protecting people, and ultimately become friends. And also around this time, a visitor from the future would show up. And sure enough, it's Alex, who says that they're changing the future and they need to go back ASAP. You'd think he'd be more grateful since, he's alive now, but whatever. The Rangers initially go back, but they return to the present when they realize Wes needs their help. Since Alex is kind of a dick now, Jen falls for Wes, they all defeat Ransik, forcing his surrender, and the day is saved. Except for the fact that Jen goes back to the future despite being in love with Wes in order to preserve the timeline. Now, a year would go by, and mutated orc hybrids from the future would travel back and attack the Wild Force Rangers. Eric and Wes, now leaders of the Silver Guardians together, would get the band back together, and thanks to the help of Ransik, would help all the Rangers defeat the orcs, redeeming himself and becoming human. Wes and Eric would work with Wild Force again, when they and 7 other Red Rangers got together to help defeat the remnants of the Machine Empire. And then, over the years, Jen and Wes would maintain a long-distance relationship, but never would tie the knot. And Wes would also help to make transportal devices, allowing Rangers from different multiverses to work together, which luckily enough would allow him and the Time Force Rangers to team up with every other Ranger team to help defeat an army of X-Borgs in the Legendary Battle. And this also allowed him to come to the rescue when several veteran Rangers had been kidnapped and were used to make evil robots. He would team up with them and the Ninja Steel Rangers to help save the day, before giving a transportal device to the Ninja Steel team, officially welcoming them to the Power Ranger family.